what's your message to women entrepreneurs out there?
I think for us, the main thing is we kept looking for answer men and women at the beginning. We were very, very self-conscious and kept thinking, okay, we're inexperienced, we're young. We'll find the right person who can guide us. And at the beginning, I would say, well, at some point of the company, I will raise seed and bring a CEO. Today, I'm looking back, I'm like, no way. It's my company. No one will do this better than I do.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm a different person than I was then. It's just because I kind of understood the ecosystem. Ultimately, if you have a vision, you're the best person to bring this forward. You just have to believe yourself and you have to be authentic about it. And the more passionate you'll be, the faster and easier it will be to swap people around you, because people are driven when they see you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of From a Woman to a Leader. I'm your host, Limor Bergman Gross, and today I am honored to have Dr. Karny Ilan. Karny is a general surgery resident at Sheba and the CEO and co-founder of Feminai. Feminai is a startup building an at-home breast cancer screening device. And when we recorded this episode, Karny was expecting her first child, and since then she became a mom. So congratulations, Karny. And you'll hear in this conversation, Karny and I talk about how she planned to juggle all of that. And I can tell you, she's already doing that. We talk about raising money when investors have never met someone like you. Choosing a profession everyone told you to run away from. And why Karny stopped looking for someone more qualified to lead her own company. So for all the women out there, also for men, if you ever waited for a role model to prove it's all possible, stay with us and listen to the incredible Karny Ilan. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Everyone, and welcome to another episode of From a Woman to a Leader. Before we begin, I want to thank Google for Startups for hosting us here. So thank you, Google. And I want to introduce my guest today, Karny. Hi.
Hi, so nice to be here.
And I guess we'll start, maybe, Karny, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and your company.
Great. So I'm a doctor. So I'm Dr. Karny Ilan. I'm a general surgery resident, and I'm also CEO and co-founder of a startup called Feminai.
So many things. And you're also expecting, is it your first child?
My first, yes, I'm expecting.
Yeah, that's very, very exciting. And first, maybe we'll start talking about, so you're entrepreneur and during residency at the same time, which sounds impossible to be honest. I'll be honest with you. How did you even come up with the idea to start your company?
So I never knew what entrepreneurship is. And when I was still a student back at Ben-Gurion University, there was this entrepreneurship course for women. And I was like, sounds fun. It was COVID, so I took it.
Yeah.
Suddenly was exposed to the whole concept of like creating your own idea. And instead of touching one life at a time, touching millions of lives at a time. And I started walking around the hospital rounds. We do rounds like at each department. I started walking around with a notebook and I wrote down ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was taught how to do clinical breast examinations, which is when a physician palpates the breast, that's when I came up with the whole concept of like, okay, this is a pain point. Because like usually they teach you at like entrepreneurship courses to write down pain points that you see.
Yeah.
I want to solve a pain, right, as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the pain I found. And then it obviously correlated with the fact that I am aspiring to become a breast surgeon. And I grew up with a family with a rich breast cancer history. So it kind of all came together. And that's when I also met my two co-founders. Both of them happen to be way smarter. They're both engineers. Both happen to be female. And together we just started making this dream, which seemed like such a faraway vision, today is coming true.
Yeah, and congratulations. You got funding recently, right?
Yes, we did.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, so when we first started out, we're 3 first-time founders. We had no idea how to raise money, and we had no idea how to run a company. And the fact that I'm the CEO is by chance. We were sitting there. We were about to sign up for a competition, and we were like, okay, well, she has a master's in engineering. She will be the CTO. And you have an engineering degree. You will be the VP R&D. And Karny, well, you will have to be the CEO. I don't know who else will be the CEO at this situation. And so at the beginning, we didn't go and raise money the typical way. We didn't go about our pre-seed round and determine what amount we're going to raise. We just went from opportunity to opportunity. And so we kept taking smaller checks at different valuations of safe agreements. And so we ended up raising a pre-seed of $1.5 million plus about $500,000 of grants. And then once this company started rolling and now we have more proof in our hands, now we just raised our seed round led by Vertex Ventures, which gives us a lot of space for growth to enrich our team and really to take the vision many, many steps forward.
Congratulations. And this is very not trivial also for, you're very, all of you, like young and female founders, which is not trivial at all. Any tips for other women entrepreneurs that you think can help them raise money?
It's a good question. I think when we came out of the academic world, kind of there's like a false bias where people look at you as a woman and they like praise you for it in the academic world. They really push women to become scientists and to go into PhDs. But then when we stepped out and we started not being in student competitions, but actually pitching to VCs, we noticed, it's weird for them. There's less women as entrepreneurs. And so it's just that it's not like they're chauvinistic or something. They just meet less women. Statistically, there's less female CEOs, less female CTOs. And so it's weirder for them. They're not as comfortable with it. And with some VCs, we definitely felt that it's not like they didn't like us necessarily. They felt less comfortable with us because at the end of the day, raising money is kind of like dating. You have to have the right chemistry with a person, right? They need to kind of fall in love, not with you and your character, but like with your vision and with the feeling that you will be able to be a leader that will take this all the way through. And it's kind of hard to determine that into someone that you don't necessarily believe in because you don't have that much experience. You don't necessarily imagine a female entrepreneur. There aren't that many good examples of female entrepreneurs that did really well, as opposed to male entrepreneurs, where all of us have that vision of a young boy with a t-shirt and sneakers that ended up building a unicorn. And there aren't that many pictures in our head of women wearing t-shirts and sneakers and raising so much money and then becoming a unicorn. So it's kind of in a way built like breaking through the glass ceiling. I think what helped us is not knowing. We were super ignorant. Like we did not know what we were going into. I was not aware that women were such a rare thing. So I acted as if
so you
totally
just
trivial.
Acted yourself.
I was just myself. I walked in wearing whatever I wanted to wear, did not dress up.
So maybe that's the secret. Maybe the secret was just that you were just cool about it. You were chill, like,
Yeah, definitely. I have to say it's not what I was taught. I kind of feel like at the beginning, we kind of took aspiration from like the closest environment to us that were women. And I did see many of them kind of really dressing up. It kind of felt like they were all putting on a costume when they were like in male presence. And at my first few meetings, I kind of copied them until I was like, no way, this is not comfortable for me.
So kind of I'm hearing from you like just being authentic and just being you, not trying to dress up too much, not trying to mimic anyone, just be yourself, be calm and confident.
Yes, definitely. Ultimately, pre-seed and seed funding is all about the team. So the VC has to like the team. If you're dressing up and acting like someone else, no one will like you.
So they want to see authenticity and they want to connect to you and trust you. Can you show us like the product? Because I think it's revolutionary and...
Of course. So we developed a product and the goal is to enable women to perform self-breast examinations from home. We have an app that determines what risk group you're in and it tells you how often you have to do the exam. And then our product itself is a disposable wearable patch, comes in sizes. And the idea is that a woman places it on her chest. It connects via Bluetooth to her phone. She performs the exam. It takes about 5 minutes per breast. And the results are sent directly to her primary physician, who is able to decide whether she needs to come in for further examination.
Fantastic. This is incredible. And is this replacing the current mammography and other scans that are done, or this is just before you're actually
So
going
at the beginning, there's many regulation steps we have to take. At the beginning, this would be a triage. And the goal is that the more we're in the market and the more medical liability we'll be gaining and more data we get, we'll be able to space out the amount of mammograms a woman does in her lifetime.
That's fantastic. And, you break so many kind of stigmas and barriers, right? So you're a doctor and you are, as you said, you're doing residency in a field that is very, very male dominant. So tell us a little bit about how it is to be a resident in surgery.
I feel like the first step any resident has to take before going into general surgery, and specifically in Israel too, is that anyone who asks you what residency you're interested in, if you answer general surgery, everyone would be laughing at you like, no way, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. That's
as a woman, if you
as anyone,
or anyone.
That's the response from anyone, and then they will add especially if you're a woman.
Okay.
And so the reaction of general surgery attendings, like the senior physicians, if they meet someone, they'd be like, oh, no, don't do it to yourself. Go to something simpler, especially because you're a woman. They always add that especially.
Why is that?
There aren't that many, if at all, female senior general surgeons. Because back in the day, this is a very demanding profession. And obviously, it kind of ruled out many women because many, many places I've heard horror stories about women that got pregnant and suddenly found themselves being laid back or suddenly being pushed aside. It's a very, very demanding job. And I feel like up until this day, someone who is super into their families doesn't really signal out, I'm all in for the job. It automatically says that you have another priority. And up until now in the medical world, physicians and the senior physicians kind of see you as, if you're a real doctor, you prioritize medicine on top of anything. And I think that's something that's starting to change with our generation, because we're coming in, and both men and women in my generation are coming in, and we're like, we want to be doctors, but that's not the only one. That's not the only thing we're prioritizing. My family may be more important to me than my job, and it doesn't make me any less of a doctor. But that's something that's slowly evolving.
And I think this is also changing, not just in medicine, but across the board. I mean, I think my parents' generation are like, oh, we just need to have, a job and to support our family. In my generation, it was like, yeah, I want to have a job, but I'm going to switch job, but still. And nowadays, your generation, I'm kind of differentiated, I'm much older than you. It's like, yeah, I want to have a life too. My well-being is important, my family. It's not just about the job.
I also see it as the older generation used to look at things as very absolute. You are either this or that. And our generation is a generation of, in Hebrew, we call it the gam v'gam v'gam. We want to do things this and this and this. And so the joke of it is when you walk into LinkedIn and people don't just say engineer. They have a whole hashtag line of titles, right? But that's kind of our thing in the generation. We don't want to be defined as one thing. We want to be a few things, and that's fine with us. And that's something that for the older generation, it's harder to grasp. It takes them more and more time to realize they don't have to be just a surgeon. They can be a surgeon. They can be an entrepreneur. They can be a dad. They can be an uncle. They can be many, many different things at the same time. So that's kind of the motivation I have, that I can always be a few different things with a few different hats. I don't need to wear only one hat all
Obviously,
the time.
you do. Obviously, you're living proof to that. So I guess when you were told oh, run away from general surgery, what were you thinking?
It's kind of this thing. I assume it happens with all professions, but specifically in the medical world, you kind of, in medical school, you do rounds in all the departments, and then suddenly something clicks. And once you click with something, nothing will take you out of it. Nothing. I knew I wanted to be a general surgeon basically from day one of medical school. Nothing would have dragged me out of it. I loved it. I loved the anatomy. I loved the satisfaction of the immediate result. Somebody comes in with a pain, boom, we take out the pain. I mean, there's something very, very satisfying about the immediate reaction, the immediate solution. So I loved it, and I still love it. And so to me, it was people scaring me. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll handle it.
You're not, I guess you're not scared that easily.
That's how I reacted.
You're not scared that easily.
Yeah.
And so what were you thinking to yourself, like when you were like about to start your company and your residency at the same time? Like, what were the thoughts in your head?
It's a good question. So what happened was I started the company. We started evolving with the idea when I was still a student. And then the company was really created as I was being an intern, doing my internship. And when I finished my internship, I was about to begin my residency. I took a pause. I had like a 2 months break there. I took a pause and I was like, okay, something is about to happen. I don't know how to react. And my first reaction was, okay, let's look for someone who did it before. So I was super, super into trying to find someone who was a doctor and created a company and kept running it. And not just as an advisor, not just as a physician that gave the idea, but as the CEO. I wanted to find someone that was me. And I really couldn't. I couldn't find someone that was both the CEO, but also a doctor at the same time. I found especially a resident, because residents have a tough schedule. You're not flexible. You're under someone, right? I have bosses. And I couldn't find anyone. And then my husband said something, which I loved. He was like, even when you look back at medical school, all sorts of people told you all sorts of stuff, right? They told you it would be hard for you to combine jobs and research with medical school. And it was easy peasy for you. You had so much free time. You watched Gilmore Girls every night, all the time. Reruns and reruns. Who says it's not going to work like that with residency? We don't know. We have to try. And so that's what I decided. I'm going to try. And so far, so good. So I took a leap.
You took a leap, definitely. Your husband is also a resident?
No, thank God. No. He's a software engineer.
Okay.
Slash
So
carpenter. He does a few things. He's also a slasher.
So you have some balance. Otherwise, it will be crazy.
Crazy.
So how does it work? How does it work to be a CEO of a company and to be a resident? Because residency is very demanding.
True.
How do you balance that?
So I'm always available via email. And via WhatsApp and phone calls. As a doctor, you have to be available all the time.
Yeah.
The main thing that helped me is the fact that as general surgery residents, we have shifts. So we come in for about 30 hours, but then we go home for the rest of the day. So usually I would finish the 30 hour and then take a cab to our office. And that would be my full day at the office. So I would schedule meetings that were like day meetings, like all sorts of companies or VCs that wanted to meet me at 11 o'clock in the morning. I would schedule on those days. And then most of my meetings and most of my job, it sounds funny, but I think CEOs will relate, is actually between the hours of 5 p.m. and 1 a.m. Because most of my job is kind of doing many, many business meetings with the U.S.
With the U.S. That makes sense.
And so technically, you would find that many of the CEOs, especially for early stage when the company is not that big and you don't have that much of an operation to run like in your office, many of them work a lot at night because that's when most of the action is. You have to do all your meetings. So that's how it kind of worked for me. That's what really, really helped me. That most of my meetings, like the busiest time was at night, which I was at home. Days that I was not on call, I was at home. So that's kind of how it worked.
But after 30 hours of a shift, how can you even function?
It's so funny because this was like, I don't want to use the word hobby, but it's kind of, that's what I wanted to do. So it basically always comes down to, what do you want to do? If that's what you want to do, that's what you'll do. Like, I did not finish the 30-hour thing and I did not want to go shopping. I didn't want to go watch TV. That's what I wanted to do. And so I think that's what it all comes down to.
This is incredible. And I think I very much relate to that because I have a sentence I always say, like, when you have a strong why, nothing can stop you other than yourself. And it seems like your why is so strong, like you're so driven by your mission that, that's what I want to do.
Anything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
Though you do need to sleep.
Definitely.
And now you're debunking another myth or barrier. Like, you're also expecting a child while having all those things. So what are your thoughts about it? How do you plan to do that?
That's such a good question. Well, to me, it's a very big deal that we got funding and that the company is slowly growing because it really enabled me and my co-founders to start delegating tasks. We basically built the whole company, the three of us. And so suddenly I have people helping me to do things. I don't have to be in charge of all the clinical work and doing all the paperwork by myself. And so I'm slowly starting to delegate things. Obviously, there's a few things I cannot delegate that they're just my job.
Yeah.
But A, I'm learning to delegate. And I'm learning how to prioritize. And B, I kind of know that I will not really be on maternity leave. It's obvious to me that I will be on maternity leave from the hospital, but from the company, you're never on maternity leave. I was sitting in the wedding, like as I was getting made up for my wedding, I had a makeup artist on my face and someone doing my hair, and I was answering emails for my company. It's obvious to me that this is obviously what's going to happen.
It seems like that's who you are in a way.
It is.
You like it. You like that energy.
I like it. I like doing a few things at the same time. I'm bored if I'm not. I kind of feel myself weird and inconvenient when I don't do enough. So I don't know what it's like to be a mother. I haven't experienced it, but I can imagine myself, if that's what I did on my wedding day, I'll probably...
I think if you're able to run a company and do a very demanding residency, it's gonna be,
let's hope,
easy. Especially because you are gonna be from I assume from the hospital, you are gonna be on maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, in a way,
I'm gonna have more time.
It may be simpler.
I know. I'm gonna be sleeping more, way more. By the way, that's a joke of all residents, is that when they, like, from the hospital, when you take a maternity leave, as a woman, usually you get to sleep more than you're used to.
Because we're
not used to sleeping. Even at home, we have to be on call. You have to leave your phone on all the time if somebody has to call, if there's an emergent surgery. And so for us, it's actually a break. It's actually, my phone is off at night. I can sleep.
This is insane.
So it's a bit different. And we're kind of used to the whole waking up in the middle of the night. We're used to it, kind of, in a way.
Yeah. Wow, this is incredible. I guess I'm learning from you, like, just the attitude, like the way I see you, how you talk. It's like, not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's the spirit, but obviously I can do things around because I have such a good army around me, right? I have good co-founders and a really good and supporting family. I couldn't have done it without them.
For sure, I can tell you that I have 4 children, and the 3 and 4th are twins. And before they were born, I was hysteric that I'm going to have twins. And I really took it as a project, like to organize my life around it. And we hired help. And like the minute I walked out of the hospital, I already had a nanny. And everything was set up. So I guess it's in a way, it's like how you organize your life around it.
And also what your expectations are. I feel like... some women, and it's totally up to us to decide what type of women, what type of mothers we want to do. I mean, there's still a lot of judgment in the air about any type of motherhood.
Yeah.
But it's up to, ultimately it's our decision. We have to live with whatever decision we're making.
So what kind of mother do you want to be?
I don't know. I'm an aunt. I have 3 nieces, which I love, and I was very, very involved in their growing up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm gonna have to wait and see. That's the only thing I have not planned. I don't know. I'm usually very, very planning. I did not plan for this, so I don't know.
Yeah. I guess this is something that you can never know how you're gonna feel until you experience it.
Yep. You tell me.
I can tell you one thing. I can tell you, first of all, being a mom is incredible. I can also tell you that for me, my career was super, super important and fulfilling, and I always wanted to work. And I took the maternity leave, and I remember it's 14 weeks for one child and 17 weeks for twins. Mm-hmm. And towards the end of the maternity leave, I was like, I'm ready to be back. So I think it really depends on the personality. And seeing you, it's like you're gonna be juggling in the air like a baby in a company, and I can already envision you carrying your baby with you and going to meetings and all that.
Probably gonna happen. By the way, that's how we raised as a company one of our first checks. My co-founder had just given birth, and it was the beginning of the war, and she came with the baby on her like this. Like a newborn, super, super tiny newborn, very, very cute. And we were just sitting like this at a table with the investor, and we got the money.
Wow, this is incredible. You are making history. I'll tell you something, Karny, you and your co-founders, because you are setting a role model for other women. And also, to be honest, for the investors as well. Like, yeah, it is possible to raise kids, to start families, expand families, still start companies.
It's interesting you're bringing this up because I don't want to make it seem like everything is amazing and women can do anything and men don't care about the fact that they're going to be women, like mothers. Because ultimately, when I did walk into VCs that had men with them, obviously I was scared of the thought that they would have a thought in their head, oh my God, this is a trio of female co-founders. Who will run the company if all of them are on maternity leave? I did have those thoughts in my head. And also me as a CEO, thankfully, I was pregnant only after we finished raising a round.
Yeah.
But it would have been scary it is scarier to walk into a VC office as a pregnant woman. I don't know how that would have impacted things. So I think things are not there yet, but I'm totally with you on the fact that the more women do these steps, it makes it seem like, oh, that's fine. Because even if one VC now sees us functioning totally normal and the company keeps moving forward, even though women are coming and going and bringing more babies, I think that kind of sends out the signal, okay, well, it's fine. It ultimately depends on the personality, too, because also men are entitled to leave for, maternity leave.
They are entitled, and I think in the US it's more common than Israel that they got parental leave, so actually men also take some leave. But still, they don't take, usually, I'm hugely generalizing, but men usually don't take the same load.
True.
And the mothers are the main caregiver for the kids. And there are those kind of biases that, women cannot do it. And you are just an example that it's possible. And that's why I said I didn't mean to say that it's easy, rather than it's definitely feasible and possible for other women to do the same.
And that's what I want people to know. Ultimately, it's your decision. You have to decide what type of woman and what type of mother you want to be, and any decision you make is fine. But if you want to be something, don't let the fact that you're a woman stop you. By the way, for me in my household, I have a husband who's like we both represent kind of the opposite of stereotypes, right? Because he's the one in charge of the home. He does the shopping and he cleans and he cooks. And I'm kind of assuming he's going to be the main caregiver probably between the two of us because he has the more character for it. And I find that fine. We don't have to be scared of anything. We can, because both of us can do whatever we want. We don't need anything to stop us. We can just choose.
For sure. And you are lucky that you have a partner that not only supports you, but also is not afraid of the stereotypes, right? He's like, yeah, that's who I am. That's what I want to do. And that's fine. My husband is also very supportive and could have done anything without him. So I believe that the more, role models we have of how partnership should be between men and women.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like old times, like the woman stand all day, and cooks or whatever. All right. So I guess, what's your message to women entrepreneurs out there? Anything else you want to share that you think is important for other women that are either, start a company or thinking about it?
I think for us, the main thing is we kept looking for answer men and women at the beginning. We were very, very self-conscious and kept thinking, okay, we're inexperienced, we're young. We'll find the right person who can guide us. And at the beginning, I would say, well, at some point of the company, I will raise seed and bring a CEO. Today, I'm looking back, I'm like, no way. It's my company. No one will do this better than I do.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm a different person than I was then. It's just because I kind of understood the ecosystem. Ultimately, if you have a vision, you're the best person to bring this forward. You just have to believe yourself and you have to be authentic about it. And the more passionate you'll be, the faster and easier it will be to swap people around you because people are driven when they see you. And so that's kind of how we felt. So we were 3 nothings, right? 3 students back then. But I think people kind of fell in love with our vision and the way we presented it. And the passion that the 3 of us have in our eyes kind of allowed many, many, many super smart and super great connections and networking events to follow us. And I think that's what kind of helped us build our name and build our credibility. So ultimately what comes from the inside kind of makes the whole difference. So just go with your guts.
For sure. That's wonderful. Wow. So what's next for you, for your company, What's coming up?
Good. So the company is in very, very intense R&D stages, reaching design freeze and hoping to go to market soon after approvals with regulatory authorities in the U.S. So we're very, very, very crowded and busy right now. And for me, hoping to continue lead Feminai the right way. Keep guessing what I'm doing, just like obviously many CEOs out there, and hoping I do the best.
Oh, you know what you're doing, and this is I'm very excited about it because I can tell you're solving a real problem, and to be honest, the exams are not very pleasant.
Yep. Men designed them, so.
Yeah, exactly. They're not pleasant.
Designed by men for women. That's
and this looks like a much
pain-free,
and to be honest, also like very private, right? I mean, you do it at your home.
Yeah.
You don't need anyone else to touch you, look at you, whatever it is.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Karny. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I want to wish you, first of all, easy delivery and enjoy and keep doing amazing things. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope it was valuable for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform and share it with any woman who needs to hear it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.